Alright, today we've got a story that hits right at the heart of one of Led Zeppelin's most iconic songs, and also one of its most legally controversial. No, I'm not talking about Stairway to Heaven, I'm talking about Dazed and Confused. And the headline today is Jimmy Page has officially settled a long-running legal dispute over songwriting credits for the song. Although, in reality, the original lawsuit was settled a long time ago. There were various offshoots of that lawsuit that have been brewing for decades. So the original composer Jake Holmes sued Jimmy Page over the authorship of Dazed Confused, claiming that Page lifted the song after seeing Holmes perform it live back in 1967. And if you compare the Led Zeppelin version or the Yardbirds version to Jake Holmes' version, the resemblance is very hard to ignore. So Page first performed Dazed and Confused with the Yardbird, then reworked and re-recorded it with Led Zeppelin, where it became one of their most iconic live numbers. But Holmes was never credited until very recently. And according to a new article from Z943radio.com, a legal settlement has been reached that resolves the entire case once and for all. That includes the original Yardbirds versions and the Led Zeppelin versions, even those featured in the recent documentary Becoming Led Zeppelin. That's right, this wasn't just about the old albums, it was about all modern media, streams, and all the offshoots. Now, does this mean that Page stole Dazed and Confused, or was it simply inspired by a lesser-known folk rock tune that Page evolved into something new? This is where I want to hear from you. Do you think Jimmy Page actually plagiarized the song Dazed and Confused? Or was this just part of the creative borrowing that shaped rock's golden era? Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Personally, I think of all of the plagiarism allegations that have been leveled against Zeppelin, this is one of the most obvious ones. And if you listen to both versions of the songs and tell me that you don't think they're the same, I'm going to think that your ears are broken. Now, clearly, Page is doing the right thing by settling the case. He settled it originally a long time ago. Jake Holmes went for decades without even knowing about it, not knowing that Led Zeppelin had taken his song. And so what's going on legally right now seems to be a just resolution to things. And this isn't the first time that Page has faced accusations of plagiarism. So Zeppelin famously won the lawsuit over Stairway to Heaven when Spirit and lawyers for Randy California alleged that Jimmy Page took the opening to Stairway to Heaven from the band Spirit. And there were some other allegations. Zeppelin toured with Spirit and they covered one of their songs called Fresh Garbage in their set. And during the trial, Page claimed to have never even heard of the band, even though Led Zeppelin toured with them. So this isn't just about rock history, it's about the future of legal actions and copyright issues, as well as what happens to the Led Zeppelin catalog. And right now I'd just like to give you a few examples of other songs that have been tied up in the Led Zeppelin plagiarism allegation brouhaha. So here are a few of the other songs in addition to Dazed and Confused. So there's Whole Lotta Love, which is alleged to come from Willie Dixon and Muddy Waters' song You Need Love. There's the Lemon Song, which is very much like Howlin' Wolf's Killin' Floor. There's Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, which comes from Ann Breeden, folk singer. Clearly Stairway to Heaven was Randy California from Spirit. That's the allegation. And then Since I've Been Loving You resembles Moby Grape's song Never. There's no lawsuit, but I also think the song, particularly lead work on that one, is very close to what Buddy Guy was doing back in the day. There's a song called Bring It On Home, of course, which was based on Sonny Boy Williamson. And then Black Mountainside came clearly from Burt Jansch's Black Waterside, but the fact is that this is a traditional song which was rearranged by Jansch, not written by him. So now there's one more bonus plagiarism accusation that I'd like to throw in here, which is something that Page allegedly lifted from his work with the failed XYZ project. Now, XYZ was a band that was going to be made up of ex-members of Led Zeppelin and Yes. And there was a song from those sessions that was called And Do You Believe It? Now, this came back in another form on one of the Firm albums as the song Fortune Hunter. So I've heard Chris Squire say that he could have sued Jimmy Page for taking the song, but he decided not to because the song didn't do anything in the charts. I think that there's a clear pattern of heavy borrowing in Jimmy Page's songwriting career, and I think as time goes on, this is going to become more and more and more of an asterisk on both his name as a guitarist, but particularly on his reputation as a songwriter. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.
Music Guru here, asking you to help us on our march to 10,000 subscribers.